Good day, everyone. We are Group 1 and welcome to our discussion. In this session, we are going to discuss Chapter 2. We will be talking about the framework of the K 12 curriculum. Let's go over the topics we need to tackle in this chapter. Lesson 1 under Chapter 2 will discuss the principles and guidelines of an effective language arts and multiliteracies curriculum. Lesson 2 will cover the outcomes of the K-12 English curriculum. Lesson 3 will examine the components of the English curriculum. Lesson 4 will address the alignment of language and literacy domains. And Lesson 5 will focus on content standards and performance standards. The K-12 curriculum framework falls under or established under Republic Act 10533, also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. This was one of the legacies of former President Benigno Aquino III as it was implemented during his administration. The law mandated compulsory kindergarten, ensuring that all children complete kindergarten before proceeding to primary education. Primary education consists of 6 years from grade 1 to grade 6. This is followed by 4 years of junior high school, grade 7 to grade 10. After that, an additional 2 years were introduced known as senior high school, which includes grade 11 and grade 12. In these final 2 years, students choose a specific track to study. Many of you are product of this K-12 system, even me, which is why basic education now takes 12 years to complete. This, in a nutshell, is the K-12 framework. Now let's move on to an effective language arts and multiliteracies curriculum. An effective language arts and multiliteracies curriculum satisfies the following principles. Number 1, develops thinking and language through interactive learning. Number 2, develops communicative competence and critical literacy. Number 3, draws on literature in order to develop students' understanding of their literary heritage. Number 4, draws on informational text and multimedia in order to build academic vocabulary and strong content knowledge. Number 5, develops students' oral language and literacy through appropriately challenging learning. Number 6, emphasizes writing arguments, explanatory/informative texts and narratives. Number 7, provides explicit skills instruction in reading and writing. Number 8, builds on the language, experiences, knowledge, and interests that students bring to school. Number 9, nurtures students' sense of their common ground in using language or languages for communication as present or future global citizens to prepare them to participate in school and in civil life. And lastly, number 10, assesses and reflects the student's ability to interpret and or communicate in the target language. So all these principles ensures a well-rounded language arts and multiliteracies curriculum by fostering critical thinking, communication, and literacy skills. By integrating interactive learning, diverse text, and explicit instruction, students develop strong language abilities and global awareness, preparing them for academic and real-world success. So we also have here the guiding principles. So all languages are interrelated and interdependent. So guiding principle number 2, language acquisition and learning is an active process that begins at birth and continues throughout life. So guiding principle number 3, learning requires meaning. So number 4, learners learn about language and how to use it effectively through their engagement with and study of texts. And lastly, successful language learning involves viewing, listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities. So the macro skills. So ultimately, the goal of the language arts and multiliteracy curriculum is to develop students into multiliterate individuals. While traditional literacy skills remain essential, the curriculum expands to include social, professional, and new literacy practices. So the focus is on multiliteracy, ensuring that students are equipped with the necessary skill for different contexts. So that concludes lesson 1. We have covered the K to 12 framework, the importance of multiliteracies, and the guiding principles of the curriculum. So thank you for listening. I hope you learned something.
So now let us move on to the outcomes of the K to 12 English curriculum. So when we talk about the outcomes of the K to 12 curriculum, it refers to the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and competencies that students are expected to acquire by the end of their basic education. These outcomes guide teaching, learning, and assessment to ensure that students are prepared for further education, employment, and entrepreneurship. This topic emphasizes that the curriculum is designed to develop students' language proficiency, literacy skills, and communicative competence to prepare them for academic and real-world communication challenges. Now, the ultimate goal of the curriculum is to produce graduates who apply language conventions, principles, strategies, and skills in number 1, interacting with others, using English to communicate effectively in social and professional settings. Number 2, understanding and learning other content areas, using language to comprehend and analyze other subjects like science, math, and social studies. And number 3, fending for themselves, applying language skills in real-life situations like job applications, business transactions, and daily communication. So there are two main outcomes of the K-12 language arts and multiliteracies curriculum, and these are communicative competence and multiliteracies. First one is the communicative competence. Communicative competence means being able to use language correctly and effectively in different situations. So K-12 learners are expected to acquire communicative competence because effective communication is essential for academic success, career readiness, and social interactions. It helps them express ideas clearly, think critically, and adapt to real-world situations. Strong communication skills also prepare them for higher education and global opportunities, making them more confident and adaptable. So here are the components or subcategories of communicative competence. We have the grammatical or linguistic competence, social-linguistic competence, discourse competence, and strategic competence. So the first one is grammatical or linguistic competence. This refers to knowledge of phonological rules or pronunciation, morphological rules or word formation, syntactic rules or sentence structure, semantic rules or word meanings, and lexical items or the vocabulary. So K-12 learners are expected to acquire grammatical or linguistic competence because it forms the foundation of effective communication. A strong grasp of grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure enables them to express ideas clearly, understand text accurately, and engage in meaningful conversations. It also helps in academic writing, professional communication, and adapting to different language contexts. Mastering linguistic competence ensures that learners can communicate with confidence, avoid misunderstandings, and succeed in both educational and real-world settings. So the next one is the social-linguistic competence. This refers to knowing how to use language appropriately in different social and cultural contexts. It depends on who you are talking to your friend, teacher, or boss, and where the conversation is taking place, formal versus informal setting. And the last one is cultural differences in communication. So, K-12 learners are expected to acquire social-linguistic competence because effective communication goes beyond grammar. It requires understanding social and cultural context. This competence helps students use appropriate language in different situations, considering factors such as audience, setting, and cultural norms. It enables them to adjust their tone, choice of words, and level of formality when speaking or writing. So, by developing social linguistic competence, learners become more effective communicators, capable of expressing themselves respectfully and appropriately in diverse social interactions, both locally and globally. So the third one is the discourse competence. Discourse competence is about organizing sentences and ideas logically. It involves cohesion or linking ideas using connectors like however or therefore, and coherence, making ideas flow logically. So K-12 learners are expected to acquire discourse competence because it allows them to organize and connect ideas effectively in both spoken and written communication. This competence helps them construct coherent paragraphs, engage in meaningful conversations, and understand how different parts of a text or speech relate to each other. So by mastering discourse competence, students can express their thoughts logically, follow conversations smoothly, and comprehend complex texts. It also enhances their ability to participate in discussion while structured essays and communicate ideas clearly across various contexts. So the fourth one is the strategic competence. This is about using strategies to fix communication breakdowns, for example, rephrasing when misunderstood, and enhance communication, for example, using gestures or prior knowledge to understand unfamiliar words. So, K-12 learners are expected to acquire strategic competence because it enables them to overcome communication challenges and express themselves effectively, even in difficult situations. This competence involves using strategies such as paraphrasing, asking for clarification, using gestures, or acquiring speech when facing language barriers. It helps learners maintain conversations, repair misunderstandings, and adapt to different communication contexts. So by developing strategic competence, students become more confident and resourceful communicators, ensuring they can convey their thoughts clearly in academic, social, and professional settings. So the second main outcome of the K-12 curriculum that students should acquire is the multiliteracies. So literacy is not just about reading books. It includes understanding various forms of media like films, online content, and advertisements. So the curriculum prepares students for traditional literacy, digital literacy, and professional literacy. Traditional literacy includes reading novels and writing essays, and digital literacy includes understanding social media and online articles, and professional literacy includes writing emails, reports, and resumes. So what is the importance of multiliteracies? So multiliteracies are essential in today's diverse and digital world because they equip individuals with the ability to communicate effectively across different contexts. Cultural awareness allows people to understand and appreciate different perspectives, fostering inclusivity and global understanding. Adaptability is also crucial as English is used in various formats, from casual text messages to academic essays and formal speeches, requiring different levels of formality and structure. Additionally, recognizing audience and purpose helps individuals adjust their language and tone based on who is listening, ensuring clear and effective communication. So, by developing multiliteracy skills, individuals become more competent and versatile communicators in an increasingly interconnected society. Conclusion: the K-12 English curriculum prepares students to become competent communicators by equipping them with essential skills for academic and real-world success. It fosters critical thinking, enabling students to analyze information, form reasoned arguments, and solve problems effectively. Adaptability is also emphasized, helping learners navigate different communication contexts, whether in writing, speaking, or digital interactions. Moreover, the curriculum strengthens literacy skills, ensuring students can comprehend and produce various types of texts. Ultimately, it prepares them for higher education, careers, and global interactions, making them more confident and capable in an increasingly interconnected world.
Good day, everyone. My name is Ella Ruth B. Domingo, and I am the third reporter of this group. And now we are going to explore about the key components of English curriculum for grades K to 12. So the goal of this curriculum is to help the students to become confident and skilled communicators in English. So now let us have the component overview first. So here, as you can see, we have 4 components. So component 1, language learning process. Component 2, effective language use. Component 3, interdependence of macro skills. And lastly, the component 4, which is the holistic assessment. So now let us start with the component 1, which is the language learning process. So it says in here, illustrates how language learning occurs and serves as guiding principles for language teachers. Grounded in 6 language teaching principles, which are the spiral progression, interaction, integration, learner-centeredness, contextualization, and construction. So we have here the key concepts, which is the spiral progression. It says in here, learning progresses from basic to advanced levels, with increasing difficulty and sophistication, ensuring continuity and growth. So first, let us undergo in the key concepts. First is the spiral progression. It says in here, learning progresses from basic to advanced levels, with increasing difficulty and sophistication, ensuring continuity and growth. So here in spiral progression, let us imagine a spiral staircase. So we start at the bottom with basic skills and gradually climb to higher levels. So in here, we'll getting more complex along the way. So this ensures that we always have a strong foundation to build on. Next, we have the interaction. It says in here, students engage in conversational activities, promoting communication skills and sociability. So, obviously, here in interaction, learning is about more than just textbooks. Okay? So, interaction means talking and listening to each other, practicing your language in real-world situations. And now, we have the integration. Integration is about incorporation of varied sources and perspectives to provide meaningful connections and understanding. So here in integration, we will connect different subjects and ideas to make learning more meaningful. Let's say, for example, we might learn about history through reading a book or science through a conversation. And next, we have the contextualization. So it says in here, contextualization is about providing authentic and relevant learning context to enhance language acquisition and understanding. So contextualization is all about learning language by using it in real life scenarios. Okay, so we might practice ordering food in restaurant or writing a letter to a friend. So that's the example in contextualization. And lastly, we have the construction. So here in construction, it says in here that encouraging students to create and make meaning through reflection and response, fostering independence and meaningful learning experiences. So construction is all about you'll be encouraged to actively participate in the learning process by creating projects, writing stories, and expressing your thoughts in different ways. And now, let us proceed to component number 2, which is the effective language use. Focuses on knowledge and skill areas essential for proficient language use. Emphasizes language macro skills, listening, speaking, reading, viewing, writing, and representing. Here in component number 2, this component helps us to understand what we need to know and be able to do to become a proficient user of English. So it emphasizes the 6 macro skills: the listening, speaking, reading, viewing, writing, and representing. So in here, obviously we are going to focus on developing all the skills so that we can communicate effectively in all aspects of life. And now, let us delve into component number 3, which is the interdependence of macro skills. So here, macro skills are intricately connected and interdependent, fostering the development of thinking skills. So macro skills include again the listening, speaking, viewing, responding, writing, and representing, all contributing to making meaning through language. So here in component number 3, so let us think about this, how these macro skills work together. So you can't just be a good reader without being able to listen and to speak well, right? So this component highlights how all these skills are interconnected or interrelated and help us to develop our thinking skills. And lastly, we have the component 4, which is the holistic assessment. So here in component number 4, it says in here, assessment of language, arts, literacy curriculum to provide feedback on its effectiveness. Aims to measure students' communication abilities and multiliteracy's development. Includes qualitative and quantitative feedback to guide teaching practices and student learning. Here in component number 4, so finally we'll talk about the holistic assessment. So this component is all about making sure the curriculum is effective and helping us to learn and grow. So assessment will involve looking at your overall communication abilities in English. So this could include writing assignments, presentations, group projects, and even conversations with your teacher. So the goal in here is to give you feedback so that you can continue to improve your skills, and it also helps teachers adjust their teaching to better meet your needs.
Alignment of the language and literacy domains. So, what is alignment? Alignment is the process of ensuring that all aspects of a curriculum are working together to achieve the same goals. This includes aligning the language and literacy domains with the content standards and performance standards. Why is alignment important? So, alignment is important because it helps to ensure that students are learning the skills and knowledge they need to be successful in school and beyond. When the language and literacy domains are aligned with the content standards and the performance standards, students are able to develop the skills they need to communicate effectively and learn across all areas. Language literacy domains. So, the language and literacy domains addresses the skills of listening, speaking, and writing. Language skills provide the foundation for a wide range of abilities that will be used in both social and academic situations throughout life. So, what does alignment of language and literacy domains So, first, it refers to the connection and integration between various aspects of language and literacy development. And also, it involves understanding how different language skills such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing relate to and support one another. So here are the alignment of the language and literacy domains with 5 sub-standards. This table shows us the 5 sub-standards of alignment of the language literacy domains. So here are the example of alignment of the language and literacy domains with 5 sub-standards. So number 1 is alignment of language and literacy domains is understanding how different language and literacy domains align with macro skills such as listening, speaking, reading, writing, and viewing is crucial for effective language instruction. The second one is domains and macro skill alignment. So each language and literacy domain contributes to the development of one or more macro skills. For examples, phonological awareness mainly focuses on listening skills, while writing and composition involve all macro skills. The third one is coherence to K-12 education goals. So, the integrated language arts curriculum is designed to align with the goals of the K-12 education program, ensuring that competencies are spread across grade levels and subjects. So the fourth one is content standards and performance standards. So content standards define the specific content areas students should master, while performance standards specifically the skills necessary for problem solving, critical thinking, and communication. And the 5-1 is grade level outcomes. So here, each grade level has specific outcomes or competencies that students should achieve, ranging from demonstrating eagerness to explore language to integrating communication skills for personal and professional purposes. And the last one is importance of review. So the lecture emphasized the importance of reviewing the alignment of language and literacy domains, as well as understanding the content and performance standards to ensure effective language instruction. So, that's all for my report.
Now, let us delve in the content and performance standards in the K-12 English curriculum. In the Philippine K-12 Basic Education curriculum, content standards and performance standards serve as essential components that define what students should learn and how they should demonstrate their learning. These standards ensure that students acquire both foundational knowledge and the ability to apply it in a meaningful ways. Content standards. Content standards specify the essential knowledge, skills, and understanding that students should acquire in a given subject and grade level. In English, these include competencies related to reading comprehension, literary appreciation, grammar, writing, and oral communication. Examples from grade 7 English. Students are expected to understand pre-colonial Philippine literature as a means of connecting to historical and cultural contexts. They should analyze text structures and literary devices used in various genres such as myths, legends, epics, and folktales. Third is they must develop skills in using context clues to determine world meanings, understanding figurative language, and identifying the prosodic features of speech. Now, examples from grades in English. Students should recognize the themes and techniques in world literature, including both classical and contemporary works. Second example, they are expected to evaluate arguments and claims in a text, distinguishing between fact and opinion. Third is they must write persuasive and argumentative essays following proper rhetorical structure. Now, let us define what is performance standards. Performance standards define the level of proficiency that students must demonstrate as they apply what they have learned. These standards focus on the ability to use language effectively in speaking, in writing, as well as in critical thinking and comprehension. Example from grade 7 English. First example, students must write a reflective essay on a pre-colonial literary work, discussing its significance and impact on Philippine culture today. Second example, in oral communication, students should deliver a dramatic reading of an epic or legend, demonstrating proper pronunciation, intonation, and gestures. Now, examples from grade 10 English. In critical thinking and argumentation, students should participate in a debate, presenting well-reasoned arguments supported by textual evidence. Now, in creative writing and expression, they must compose a short story inspired by a literary tradition from another country, showcasing their understanding of cultural influences. Now, significance of these standards in English education. The integration of content and performance standards ensures that students do not merely memorize rules of grammar and literature, but are able to apply their learning in a real-world situation. Through performance tasks such as essays, speeches, and presentations, students develop communication skills, critical thinking abilities, and cultural awareness, all of which are crucial in a globally connected world.